Getting right into it, we're going to be starting off by prepping my client's nails. Everyone welcome Candy. She is an OG client of mine that I recently recruited to do her nails once again. I am so excited to be doing her nails. We used to do a very long acrylic overlay on her natural nails and it was just my absolute favorite. I think just being able to accentuate a natural nail with a simple acrylic overlay is always one of my favorites, and I absolutely love that she still has a little bit of length. We're gonna be leaving her length underneath today's set, so hopefully we can grow them back out and do an acrylic overlay as we used to. I'm gonna be starting off by just prepping her natural nail with a Mandrel bit and sanding band. I'm just very carefully with very light pressure at a speed of 4,000 RPMs. I'm gonna be buffing off that shine so that all the product adheres properly to her natural nail. I'm going in with this diamond bit from Profiles Backstage. It has become my favorite. It's nice and skinny so I can go into those hard to reach areas, and it does a very good job of removing all that dead skin from her natural nail. I'm going to be going in again, still at a speed of 4,000 RPMs, very light pressure when doing this. I try to go just in one direction so that I do not overfile or I lose control of my handpiece. And then I'm actually going to be taking my Tammy Taylor peel and stick file and then just shaping out her nails. They are a little curvy, so I figured I would just go ahead and straighten them out a little bit, round out the corners, since we are not going to be trimming them off and we want to keep that length. Now, she did request a coffin shape, and if you didn't already know about the universal tips, I talk about them a lot on my channel, but if you are new, the universal tips are from Not Polish and they are absolutely my favorite to do a short tapered square look, long stiletto of course, and then coffin nails. It is called universal tips for a reason. I'm going to be going in and trimming them down to the length that she requested, and then I'm going in with my hand file and then filing these nails into shape. She does have very tiny skinny nails, so I did go ahead and just go with the smallest size that fit that nail, and then I'm going to be filing them until the sides are nice and flush to that tip. You can kind of see that there's a little bit of an overhang in some of the nails. That's pretty much the reason why. I'm going to be making them nice and skinny, and then we're going to be squaring off that tip as well. Very quickly, I'm going to be blending in that tip to her natural nail using my 5-in-1 bit. I normally use my Mandrel bit, not quite sure why I grabbed this. Still the same process, just blending it in very carefully so that everything is nice and flush. That way I can lay my acrylic a little bit better. Next, I'm going to be taking a lint-free wipe and a little bit of Young Nail Swipe to dehydrate and really clean that surface of the nail. You want to make sure you remove all the excess oil so that everything adheres really well. That's pretty much what I'm doing at this step. And then I'm going to be taking my primer from Not Polish and I'm going to be applying that only on her natural nail. And then as always, you can always add 2 coats if you prefer, and kind of just depending on how the client's retention is. I think hers is pretty good, so I'm just going to go in with 1 coat. We're going in immediately with our acrylic application. I'm going to be doing my base as an ombre. Super spring vibes, definitely all the pastels. These colors are absolutely beautiful, so I was so excited to try these out for this set. We're going in first with Let's Jam from Not Polish. And then for my beautiful nude color that I chose, we're going to be using the color Light Sand, also from Not Polish. It's a really good option for light skin. It accents the nails super well, and it definitely goes really well with all the pastel colors that we chose too. I'm going to be using the size 12 brush from Not Polish as well, and then my Kiara Sky monomer for this set. Now for this beautiful pastel purple, this is called Drop the Beat from Kiara Sky. It is one of my favorite pastel purples. It's nice and opaque, which I really love. Now for our ombre application, it is pretty simple, straightforward. I know it can be a challenge to a lot of beginner nail techs as well. As long as you use thin layers, this is always what I recommend, especially if you are a beginner. Use thin layers. That way, if you need to fix anything, you could always go and layer some more on top and they're not gonna get super thick. Obviously, once you get a little bit more comfortable, you can use pretty much just 2 beads for the entire application, but I always recommend doing thinner. I personally like to do thinner just to be on the safe side. You just never know. So we're gonna be going in next with this beautiful pastel pink. This one is called Sorbet from Kiara Sky. And again, same simple ombre. I like to place my color right in the center of the nail, bring it all the way down to the tip, make it nice and flush in that center wherever you're gonna ombre your nude into it. And then you can easily blend the two together. Always remember to use good products for especially an ombre. The better they blend, the easier your process is gonna be. So definitely recommend trying to get your hands on good products. Now for this stunning yellow color, it is called Blonded Moment from Not Polish. It has been one of my go-to yellow colors for the springtime. It is absolutely beautiful. And then for the thumb, we're gonna be using the pastel green from Not Polish, which is called Neon Ninjas. It is also one of my favorite greens to use during this springtime. Once I'm done with my acrylic application, I'm going to be going in and encapsulating the nails. As you can see, they are still a little bit on the thin side, so I want to not only protect that center portion of the nail where we are going to be able to accidentally file it off if I don't, but I also want to kind of create a little bit of an apex. Her nails are short, and I like to do thin nails, so I'm not doing a crazy amount of hump in that area. So just if you guys are curious, I like to do my nails extremely thin so that they look a little bit more natural and dainty versus building up the apex extremely thick, how a lot of nail techs like to do. So just in case you guys are curious, and only reason why I'm adding the clear is to create a little bit more strength in that center. Once everything is nice and dry, I'm going to be going in with my filing process. I have turned my e-file onto a speed of about 11,000 RPMs. Along with that, I'm using a Kiara Sky bit. This one is medium grit. I am going to be going in around that cuticle area and then filing the entire nail, just vertically up and down. Sometimes I go horizontally, just depends on what I'm feeling. And I just want to make sure that y'all know I'm also going in with very light amount of pressure. I only want to barely buff everything off and smooth everything out. I'm not trying to remove layers. So if you guys are not aware, the more pressure you apply to your handpiece, the more acrylic you're going to file off. So you want to make sure you are trying to keep that same amount of pressure throughout the entire process. Otherwise, you can create even more ridges, divots, and lumpy surfaces. I'm going to be going in with my hand file once again, reshaping those nails. Although we tried to tuck in those sides and we tried to clean up the sides, you still want to go in with the last final shaping so that everything is super, super crisp. I always recommend doing this as well if you guys are doing a gel polish application. Do this as your final step and it will literally make your set look so crisp and so clean. So if you've ever had issues with your gel polish making the shape a little distorted, definitely recommend going in with the final file after you top coat. So I'm going to be going in now with my buffer and just buffing the surface of the nail, making sure that it is nice and smooth. This is a Kiara Sky buffer. And then we're just going to go in with our nail art after we cleanse the nail once again with the lint-free wipe and Young Nail Swipe. Now for our nail art, we're going to be going in with some simple, super easy to do flowers so that it matches all the spring vibes that we're going for. I'm using my nail art brush from Not Polish, and then I'm actually going to be going in with the matching color corresponding to the nail we are on. So for the blue, we're using a pastel blue gel paint, and these are all actually from Profiles Backstage and Not Polish. So I'm using whichever one matched the nail the best. And then I'm just kind of going from there. So I'll definitely leave them linked down below for you guys if you're interested in any specific color. And then as far as the brighter yellow that we are using for the center of the flower, I am using a frosting gel paint from Profiles Backstage. And I'm just simply doing a tiny little dot in the center after I'm done doing the tiny petals. And as always, remember to cure in the light whenever you feel it is necessary. I'm going to be placing all of the nails into the light at once for 60 seconds. If you feel like it's a little bit undercooked, make sure you place it back in there for another 60 seconds. I'm going to be going in with Gloss It from Not Polish and top coating these nails, adding a little bit of cuticle oil to her cuticles. And that pretty much concludes today's video. Let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a ton. And I'll see you guys next time.